be really quiet. It's like 8:35 at night, but in this house, people are usually in bed by 8, and my windows are open, so my neighbors can hear me talking, so it's gonna be kind of quiet. But I did this morning. My employers told me that Molly had an audition today in Santa Monica, and the dad asked me if I wanted to take her Molly, and I said I'd love to. So I packed up the kids. I spent an hour and a half packing the car, and I went and pulled her from school. Yeah, I took the kids, the two babies, to the park, and then I pulled her from school, and the address wasn't working in the GPS. So I called the house again, and I was like, is it in a different town? Like, most auditions are in Hollywood. And she's like, no, it's in Los Angeles. So I type in Los Angeles, and it tests me. It tells me that I'm getting off near Sunset. And I'm like, this is in Hollywood. Parking is going to be horrendous. So I was a little bit panicked because I had 3 kids in a stroller to push, and I didn't know how far I was going to have to go. And I pulled up, they were filming a movie on one of the side streets, and I was like, kind of, like, do you know anywhere to park? And he goes, how long you can do to be gone? And I said, I have to run these guys to an audition down at Pork Chop Studios or something. And he's like, oh, that's just down the street. I was like, yeah, I just have to run there and do the audition and come back, and then I'm leaving. And he's like, you can park the car over here, and I'll make sure that nobody moves it. I was like, can I trust you? Cause he's like, no, I'm fine. He was a security guard or whatever, so I left the car. We walked, I think, 4 blocks anyways to get to the studio. And then we got to the stairs and realized that we couldn't take the stroller upstairs. So I had to take the baby out of the stroller and go to the audition. And then we get in there, and I filled out all the paperwork and measured Moani for everything. And then they asked if the other 2 can go to the audition. And I was like, sure. And they're like, well, you're going to have to fill out paperwork and measure them as well. And I'm like, oh. So I'm struggling with a 9-month-old and a 2-year-old running around in an audition room. It's crazy. Then after the audition, the girls were like, I'm hungry. So we got in the car, and we were parked outside of Gold's Gym in Hollywood, like right off of Santa Monica Boulevard. And this guy comes out, and he was with this girl, and they were talking about like healthy foods to eat and stuff. And the guy said something about soy, and the girl goes, oh my gosh, don't drink soy. It's so fattening. Wait, is that milk? And he's like, no, it's soy. And she's like, yeah, I know, but is it milk? It made me laugh so hard. I was like, it's soy. It's not milk. It's funny. But then the kids were like, oh, I'm hungry. So I asked them where they wanted to go. And of course they said McDonald's. There was one down Vine. So we went on to the Vine, the McDonald's. And we were sitting in McDonald's, and like the entire place lit up. I don't know, the doors are like electronic, like in the bathroom, they like lock electronically. And we didn't know this, so we like pulled on the door, and I was like, oh, we have to go talk to the lady at the desk, at the front counter to get in the bathroom. And this homeless lady comes out, and she was really scary looking. I mean, to me, she was scary looking, let alone to a little kid. And Ma just runs right in and runs right into the giant stall, because I had the stroller. And she's like, in, Ali, in. She was scared, but she just ran right past her. It was so funny. But the place lit up. Like, everyone was like, you have the most beautiful kids. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I don't like explaining to everyone that I'm a nanny. It gets old and tiring and boring. So I just say, thank you, And this guy comes over, and he's got, like, no teeth. And he was kind of, I think he was drinking a little bit, but I told the kids to be nice to him, and I was like, just say hi and smile, and they smiled, and Warnie goes, he doesn't have teeth, and I was like, that's not nice. We don't do that. She's like, I was just saying he didn't have teeth. I'm like, we don't point at people, we don't stare, and we certainly don't point out that they don't have teeth. But he says, oh my goodness, God bless you and your family. You have the most beautiful family. Look at those big blue eyes. They must get them from their mom, huh? And Wani didn't miss a beat. And she was like, yep. And Allie gets them from her mom. And he's like, oh yeah. Um, genetics are a funny thing, them things. Them genetics. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you have gorgeous eyes too. I was like, thank you. He's like, man, you passed on some great genes. And I was like, okay, if these were my kids, I wouldn't be standing here talking to a complete stranger about which genes I passed on to my kid. But there was so many people that stopped. They're like, oh my God, mommy, you have such beautiful kids. And Moani knows when people do that. She knows to not say anything because they think it's rude. And she's like, she's not our mom. But I've been teaching her that it's a polite way to say she's our nanny. So by the fifth person that stopped by our table, this older man was sitting next to us, and he came over and he says, gorgeous eyes. They are the most beautiful children. I was like, thank you. And he said, they must take after their mommy, because she's beautiful too. And Morty looks up at him and she goes, how do you know what our mommy looks like? Because she's not our mommy. She's our nanny. And then she looks at me and she says, was that nice enough for you? It was so funny. It was funny. He had to be there, I guess. As I was sitting there, I got a Twitter message from somebody, and I checked it and I laughed. And Morning goes, who's talking to you? And I was like, Twitter. And she goes, can I talk to Twitter? And I was like, Twitter is a message board. And she goes, oh, well, who sent the message on the message board? And I laughed and I was like, a guy. And she goes, well, let me talk to Twitter. She says, let me tweet that guy. I don't think we've ever talked about Twitter to her. It was kind of funny, but I didn't let her tweet. But the day went really well. It ended well. I'm tired, exhausted, but I wanted to share that with you. So, yeah. The other thing, my baby sucked. Good like that. I have a cowlick. I can't really like rub it in that way. I'm sorry, but anywho, yeah. Thanks for playing with watching my video.